Have you ever wondered about Notion formulas? I know I have. So I spent an obscene amount of time delving into them inside Notion when I probably should have been spending that time with my girlfriend, but you know, Notion is life and I have figured them out. Now I have a massive history in JavaScript programming, so a lot of the things that you can find inside these formulas actually hark back to traditional things that you can do in programming languages like JavaScript. But I'm going to try and simplify it for you, and this video will just attempt to be an intro. It's not going to be anything wild, spectacular. I'm sure if this gets some thumbs up, which it would be nice if you did, give me one of those if you like this. If this does get some thumbs up, then I will probably turn it into a bit of a mini series where I go more in depth on specific functions and cool things you can do inside the Notion formula property. So let's jump right in. So here we have a sample database of clients. So I haven't tried to overload the table view too much. We've just got a status property, pretty standard. Maybe they're a lead, they're a warm lead or a client, and the client name. So if we go into one of these, I have set up some things and we're going to work through them one by one. So the first thing I want to show you is how to get this. So you just literally type formula, and this is how you would set up a formula property for yourself. Once you have set that up, you would click onto this part here and you come to this wildly intimidating box and you're like, what the hell is going on? I can see pi, I can see split, I can see all this array of mad stuff, right? And if you scroll all the way down, it just gets even more crazy. I think I just saw a squirt. Yeah, what is squirt? Apparently it returns the positive square root of a number. I knew that. But anyway, so that's how you get a formula, and then to edit it, you go in here and start typing up here. Now, why do you need these? I'm going to hopefully prove why you do need these as I go through each step. So first big use case, right? The status property in Notion is kind of a unique data type in that it's kind of a drop down and it's split into these three categories, which is kind of like to do, in progress, and complete. And then you can select what tags you want to appear in each of those categories. Now, this is great, but you may have run into a problem, especially if you're into AI and automation like I am, where if you want to reference this, for example, from make.com, this status property is kind of weird. It doesn't really work well. So a very common workaround is to basically turn this data into very simple text data. So whenever you see this like weird symbol here, it means I'm messing or have created with a formula. So here's status F, and I'm going to create it now. Very simply, within this Notion formula input box here, you can reference any other property inside your item. So let's look at status, and you can see right here, you can look at the properties. So it's picked them out for me, like it already knows that I have a status and a start date, and then it suggests some functions here. But let's click on the status, and then it shows you the kind of the output here, which is basically everything after this equals sign. So the status here is lead. That might actually be enough. Yeah, that's actually enough in this case. But in some instances, that's enough to turn it into raw text, In some instances, you might want to use a function called format, which basically takes anything like a variable, like a date, and just outputs it in text. So I do that just to double check that it really is outputting as text. So that's one way. Hours, this is pretty common within tasks, right? You might have a bunch of people working on things and like, I've done 5 hours on Ronald McDonald. If you want to format that in a nice way, which is more of a UI decision, you can do something like this. So you can start using the style function, which is down here. And you start by passing the first argument, they're called. Pass the first argument to style, which will be your hours variable. Pop that in there. And then if you hit comma, you can add some beautiful styles. And if you have a look on the right side here, it kind of gives you documentation as you do this. So it's not actually that intimidating. Shows you that you can add colors and do blah, yada, yada, yada. So let's make this, I don't know, red. You can even do things like red background to kind of give it a nice highlight. You can add text formatting like this, B for bold, just make sure it's wrapped in quotation marks. Hit done, and then you can see you're getting this really nice formatting. Now, where is this useful? This is very much a quality of life thing, so don't go crazy and format everything. But for example, if you want to differentiate pieces of data, especially in views like this, in your board views, let's say if you want to at a glance see the hours on a task or the hours on a client in this instance, you would edit the board like this in normal circumstances, and then you would normally select the hours here. So you can see here there's like a 5 popping up. This is nice, but if you're working with a bunch of people, they might just have no idea what this means. You have to hover over it. At a glance, it's not super easy to understand what does this 5 mean. Does it mean that we have 5 projects with him? Who knows? So you click this, and this is what I do in my workspace. I actually add a little clock symbol. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use format. We're going to take away that closing bracket and put it at the end, because we're going to wrap this entire thing. And we are going to add that first bit of data to a little clock emoji. And you can see, both 5 hours. So this key part here is a plus, which is basically concatenating or stitching together 2 things, and it's all wrapped in a format. So format's quite useful for that. I highly recommend it. So now you've got it nicely formatted using just that data. So you can change something that looks like that into something that looks like this, which is a bit more user-friendly and nice. And you can do a bunch of things, like if there are 0 hours, you can actually not display that emoji. Bunch of cool things. So back over to Ronald in the table view. Goal. So this is as you can tell, a related field. So I'm basically pulling in goals, which is another DB. So for example here, just get more clients, right? Again, to display this, you might want to do some sort of formatting on it. You don't like the way it looks, or you just need it to look different. So again, you can just come in here. Let's start off by referencing the variable in here, which is goal. Maybe you just don't want it to appear like this with the little document emoji. So again, you can just format, and that kind of takes it all off. So a bunch of cool things here. Then do you know what? Let's come out, and we'll use the style tag. I'll do the same thing before, where I basically wrap the entire thing. So I get rid of the last bracket, put it at the end, and then let's do style it as italics. So you can get real nice and fancy here and build your UIs out to look real tasty. Now here's a useful one. Start date and end date. That's pretty common for projects and many other types of data within Notion. So for example, here we've got like June 19th to July 10. It's very useful at a glance to see like how many days are left without having to calculate that in your head, right? So you can use this days left formula, which I've called it that. You can call it whatever you want, but let's click in here, and we can use a built-in formula called date between. Just have fun with these formulas. There's so many things you can do. You really are limited by your imagination, and that's it. So the date between, let's put the end date as the first argument, the start date as the second argument. And as you can see here, we're getting a nice tasty red text error telling us that only 2 arguments were provided. So we can look at the documentation here and say, okay, it needs a 3rd argument, which is like a unit, a type. Like, what do you want the output to be? Days, years? Probably going to be days, right? So let's hit days. And there you go, get 21. So this is really cool. You can also like put this on hide when empty. So if you don't have an end date, let's get rid of this end date, for example. Let's clear it. It's not going to show that property. See how it's kind of vanished into here. But as soon as somebody in your project comes along and says, this is going to finish then it magically appears. And then we can start to apply the interesting things that we learned before with styling. So for example, if we jump back to a board view, you might want to easily see like how many days left have I got on a client or a task or whatever, a project. So the normal way again would be to just add that as a property. So it would be what, days left, right? Again, it's not very user-friendly. You don't know what this 71 means. Does it mean that's how old Ronald McDonald is? So what you can do instead is you can then format the days left with a little bit of, I don't know, styling. Let's style them up. Same thing, wrap the entire thing. That whole thing becomes the first argument. The second argument will be, on orange background. And even you can wrap that entire thing in a format. The entire thing in a format, and use that plus symbol, which we've seen is very powerful, and we can actually say like 71 days. You see, we've lost that style now, so I'm going to actually pull that style away and wrap the entire thing in a style. You have to kind of be aware of where you are placing your wrappers. So let's put the style here, and then it should work. There we go. Bosh. So now you're starting to build nice UIs, and the easier that you can digest information at a glance, the quicker and less stressful your day is going to be ultimately. So let's finish this up. Rollups. Again, if you into rollups and you like pulling specific information from a related property, then you can also style your rollups as well. So, this is a rollup which is getting, what is it getting? It's getting something from the related goal, and it's pulling the area that goal is from. Now, say you don't want it to appear like this. You can do whatever you want. Let's try a new one. Let's do sort of an upper text formula, which is going to make it print out in caps completely. And we're going to call it, we're going to grab the rollup, and that doesn't work. Interesting. Oh, okay. So what we need to do here, I'm pretty sure, is we need to format the rollup first to change it from this kind of weird looking clickable link. So let's format this rollup before we then wrap it in the upper, and there we go. It works. And then you can, you can style it. As you can tell, I freaking love styling. You can then, bolden it. You can do whatever you want. So last but not least, we have a page ID. This is really useful when you are using automations and flows, and sometimes you just need the page ID. This one's super, super easy. It actually needs to be a formula. So let's go in and change the type to that formula. And all it is super easy. You can just hit ID and then this open brackets, close bracket, which is standard notation for functions or function calling. And that just calls and just prints out the ID of the Ronald McDonald item page that we are on right now. So this is very useful for automations if you want to get into it. And you can pull different types of IDs. You can pull the ID of any related piece of data in Notion and start to stitch together really cool, complicated things. Okay. Hope that wasn't too overwhelming. I was just trying to make that some sort of like an intro into formulas, but they're really cool. They keep extending the functionality of what formulas can do. So basically, if you're into programming, and even if you're not into programming, you can just jazz around with this. It's got some nice documentation, as you've seen, and you can start to do really cool, unique things and build your Notion workspace according to what suits your brain, and you can make it prettier than anyone else's. All right, guys, hope that was useful. Let me know if you want me to dig into any specific functions or other parts of formulas in Notion, and I would be more than happy to. All right, peace.